Well, as we know, the success of the big screen adaptation of It Ends With Us has been overshadowed by Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's legal drama as the castmates continue to engage in a very public spat, including claims of sexual harassment, extortion and defamation.
The saga has been explored in a new documentary. It's called He Said, She Said, Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni, where experts provide behind-the-scenes insights and attempt to make sense of this very messy battle. So from the documentary, we welcome professional intimacy coordinator and founder of Consent Wizardry, Mia Schachter. Good morning, Mia.
Morning.
Hi, you've worked on shows like Euphoria and you are Tinder's resident consent educator. Now you've provided your insights for this TV special. What was your initial take on the whole situation?
Yeah, when I first found out about it, it seemed like another situation where we're not going to find some truth, one single truth, because we have people speaking from their subjective experiences over a long period of time. And it unfortunately seems like what happens when we provide really bad consent education or none at all. And so we're left with these kind of bumper sticker types of phrases like no means no, without really anything that shows us how to engage in consent in an ongoing way beyond the one moment of permission.
Yeah, all right, so mate, walk us through this. Obviously, Justin Baldoni, he was the director on this film as well. Did he actually have a duty of care to hold those formal conversations with Blake Lively before he just started improvising on set?
Yes, I believe so. If I know that there were intimacy coordinators who worked on this movie, but in many scenes where, Blake has listed several complaints, there wouldn't have been an intimacy coordinator present, especially this scene that you're showing right now, because of the way that the scene is described. There's no kissing, there's just slow dancing is what's described. So if an intimacy coordinator wasn't going to be present and he wanted to see these characters kiss, he absolutely should have had a conversation with her about that beforehand.
But apparently, or allegedly, Blake Lively didn't want to meet with the It Ends With Us intimacy coordinator before they started shooting. So does that make the job, and the job that you have, even though you weren't on this film, but does that make your job and your role even more difficult?
Yes. I've been in situations like that, and it is certainly frustrating, to say the least. The majority of our work takes place in prep, and if we can't have those conversations one-on-one with each actor, then we're not able to do our prep, and it makes shooting very challenging for us. But she didn't refuse to work with an intimacy coordinator. She turned down that prep conversation, and yet in a scene like that slow dance scene, there wouldn't have been any conversation with an intimacy coordinator. He was inserting intimacy, capital I intimacy, without it being written, which is okay so long as you have a conversation or bring in an intimacy coordinator at that point.
Sure.
Right. So, I mean, broadly speaking, Mia, I think we all understand what an intimacy coordinator actually does. But what are the specifics? How does it actually work? Would it be that person actually getting in a room with Blake and Justin, talking through what is happening? Are they there to witness the kisses or the other scenes that they're actually doing? What are the specifics of it?
Yeah, we go through the script and we break it down. We make a list of conversations scenes that we want to have conversations with the director about based on what's written. And then we talk to the director privately, and then we speak to each actor privately. That's the conversation that supposedly Blake would have turned down. And then we coordinate across many departments. So the production office, the legal team, the costumes department, hair and makeup, sometimes props and set deck. We make sure that every department is on the same page for what we are planning on shooting and what we are allowed to shoot based on the conversations with the actors about their comfort. We make sure we have the legal paperwork in place. We make sure that that is signed. And then once we're shooting, we make sure the set is properly closed according to SAG-AFTRA guidelines. That's our union here. So that's making sure that no non-essential personnel are present, that the footage from that day only goes to certain people, that the script supervisor is aware of what we agreed to shoot and what we're not allowed to see. We can choreograph if necessary. We check in on an ongoing basis. We make sure that the actors' comfort levels and boundaries have been communicated between them so that they know and it's not just coming from a third party. It's a pretty extensive job.
Yeah, and it sounds like really important work too. The legal drama doesn't appear to be ending anytime soon. What do you think the stars may or could have done differently to better handle this situation, Mia?
Yeah, I wish that if Justin, as the director, and any director who wanted to add moments of intimacy that aren't written, I wish they would bring in an intimacy coordinator to help navigate those conversations. You know, I wish that, like, when I read Blake's complaints, I see her describing a pattern of boundary pushing and an invasion of privacy. I would love to live in a world where Justin would have then said, you know, I'm hearing this pattern and that I've made someone feel this way, and I'd like to take some time to look at that and learn how I can do better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it could have ended very differently if they had have just had someone like you in the room at the time.
Yeah. Mia, thank you so much for your terrific insights. It seems to make it a lot more clearer when we hear it coming from your perspective. Thank you so much.